This is how you can buy your first home for $5,986 without having to shake down the bank of mum and dad. So let's say we're buying our first owner-occupied home and we're going to have to build this home in order to do it. So we'll say, for example's sake, our land is worth $300,000, our build is worth $400,000 to keep the numbers nice and round because my maths is not excellent. So that would give us a total purchase price of $700,000 for our first home. Now, if you're buying your first home, what you're going to need is what the bank calls deposit and costs. So most people think it's just the 5%, but there's also a whole heap of costs that you need as well. So this is how this would typically work. So you'd need 5% is the minimum deposit most banks will accept. So we're looking at $35,000 for that. We then have your mortgage fee, $232, your transfer fee at $754, and you will pay a $0 stamp duty because the government will give you a holiday on that for buying your first home. But the kicker is, normally you've got to pay this thing called lender's mortgage insurance. So if you have less than a 5% deposit, the banks see that as a risky loan, so they pay to have that loan insured and they charge that premium to you, which sucks because it costs, in this case, $27,900 roughly. So typically what you would need to save up as a minimum to get into your first home is $63,886, which would take you until 2032 to do. So how do we get into a home for $5,986? Well, we're going to leverage some of the government incentives. So the first one we're going to go after, and this is if you're in Queensland, is the $30,000 first homeowners grant. So till the end of this financial year, the government is giving first home buyers who build their first new home $30,000 to get into the market. The next thing we're going to do is get you on what's called the first home guarantee. So the first home guarantee, rather than the banks going to a mortgage insurer to insure your loan, the government will insure the loan for you. Now, it doesn't mean the government has a hold on your property or anything like that. They do it so first home buyers don't have to pay lender's mortgage insurance, which means you need $27,900 less than what you needed before. So if we go, how much you need? 63 minus your 30 minus your 27,900, we are left with $5,986 to get into your first home. I'm not a mortgage broker. I have no licenses. So make sure you talk to one of those guys before you do this, but that is essentially how it works.